During a cold call, you have give or take 4 seconds to intrigue your prospect before they hang up on you because you're offering the same exact thing the same exact way as the other 15 people who called them earlier that morning. That's why during your cold call, there are 3 main pillars that you have to follow. Differentiating yourself, building trust quickly, and then having an offer that your prospect simply cannot say no to. And then before we get started, I don't want you guys to think that this video is going to show you some magic cold calling script that will 10x the amount of meetings you book per day, because a script might work really well for guy A, but work terribly for guy B, and that's simply because people have different strengths and weaknesses. So the most important thing is building a script that works for you specifically, and one that matches your abilities, your skills, and your specific personality. And then finally, one last thing, make sure to join the free Discord link down in the description. I upload new resources in there every couple of days, like lead tracking sheets and offer building frameworks. And then there's plenty of other people in there that you can network with and who are probably building the same exact business as you are, and they might even be in the same stage as you. And it's just a really good space to be in if you're someone who's building a business. And it's free. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So before we get into how you can build your own script, let's first review a bad script versus a good cold calling script. So, starting with the bad one. Hi, is this Mr. Smith? Yes, who's this? My name is Billy. I'm calling from Elevate Media. Do you have a few minutes to talk about our marketing services? I'm busy right now. Okay, maybe I can send you some info by email. And then they hang up. So let's get over to why this is bad. First, it's a very bad opener. Saying, hi, is this Mr. Smith? Or do you have a few minutes? Completely sounds scripted from the start, and they're going to instantly know that this is a cold call and that you're trying to sell them something. Then next, it's too generic and vague. So I'm calling from Elevate Media about our marketing services. That's a terrible thing to say. You can never just categorize what you're offering as a vague marketing service, because then you're going to get 0 clients. No one wants to work with a company who just does marketing services. You need to find a way to make yourself stand out. And then it doesn't say how you help or what makes you different, so the prospect has absolutely 0 reason to care with what you're offering. Then there's also no value or benefit, so it jumps straight to, can I talk about my service, with no clear value given to the prospect. And then it's focused on what you want and not what they get, so it gives them absolutely 0 incentive to listen. And then it ruins the possibility of having a genuine conversation with your prospect. And then there's no clear next step, so it ends with, maybe I can send you some info. And then it doesn't show any conviction behind what you're offering. So the trust with your prospect is going to be destroyed because you didn't even ask to hop on a call. You just thought maybe you could send them over some information. Now, let's take a look at a good cold calling script, or a solid one at least. It's not perfect, but it's just a decent example. So, hey, is this Dave? Yeah, who's this? Hey, Dave, I saw your killer Yelp reviews. I'm assuming you guys are slammed, right? Yeah, it's not bad, but it slows down sometimes. What's up? I'm working with a few electricians on this. We make sure that you consistently get projects and so that they don't just come in waves. Oh, gotcha. Well, I'm pretty busy doing an estimate right now, though. No worries. Let's just hop on a Zoom call next Thursday. I'll walk you through how it works. So now we can break down why this is good. First, there's a personalized and relevant opener. So it refers to their Yelp reviews. It shows that you did your homework and your research beforehand. So the prospect is automatically going to perceive you with more value. And then it's also going to sound like a real conversation that you're trying to have with them, and not just some mass sales pitch that you already said to 100+ businesses that same day. So the prospect will feel more open to speak when personalization is involved. Next, it gets them talking early, so you're not just yapping along for the whole front half of the call. You're giving them chances to speak by asking them questions and making it a two-way conversation, and not just you blabbing in their ear about your service. Now next, when it comes to what you're offering, you're not just pitching them endlessly on what you do, but you're just giving them a small value hint. So it briefly mentions that you work with other local electricians, but you don't pitch or ramble on for that long. Then it gives them a brief idea of what it could be like working with you. So you help them consistently get projects, making sure that they don't just come in waves. And that touches on a problem that they mentioned earlier in the script. And then finally, there's a low pressure, easy next step. So it gives them a totally pressure-free option of a quick Zoom call, so it feels safe to keep talking or say yes. And then they're met by a genuine approach and aren't pushed constantly to say yes. So you're not nudging them on too long, you're keeping it genuine, but then you're also giving them a super easy option if they want to continue, which is just hopping on a simple, non-formal Zoom call. So now that you know what a good script and a bad script looks like and why one might be bad and the other might be good, let's get into the real sauce so you can actually build your own cold calling script. So first, you need to decide your pattern interrupt. So what is a pattern interrupt? This is what's going to make the prospect stop what they're doing and actually listen to you over the other people who called them. And the goal is for you to stand out from all the other callers, because if you do the same, you will receive the same, a hang up. So you cannot do the same as the other people. And then how to do it, apply some level of personalization, comment on their reviews, their website, maybe the logo that they have, the time in business. So maybe if they started in 2015, this year might be their 10th anniversary as a company, so you can mention that. And a few examples of doing this is, saw next year will be your company's 20th anniversary. That's impressive. Or love the About Us section of your website. That's a great story. Or saw the recent review from Tuesday. Sounds like you guys know what you're doing. If there was a positive review, for example. And this is who you need to become. These are all the other cold callers, and this needs to be you. Now next, you need to be able to build trust quickly. So why? People only buy from people they fully trust and feel safe working with, obviously. And the goal is to be genuine and upfront enough so that the prospect is more inclined to partner with you. And then how to do it. So when questions are asked, answer them honestly. Be upfront and transparent, even if it might be of something negative towards you. So, for example, if the prospect asks, have you ever not gotten results for a client? Even though saying yes is something negative about your business, it will still help build trust in the long run and incline the prospect to want to work with you more. So you can say, yes, one time there was a bug in the funnel. We gave them a complete refund though. And now the client's going to know that you're honest because you admitted to not getting results once, but they also know that there's no risk because if things go wrong, you give them a refund. And then a bad example of not building trust is the prospect asks, okay, I'm interested, but how much does it cost? And you, thinking it's going to cost too much, are like, well, the price is something we can discuss in the call we booked for this Wednesday. Now your client knows that you're hiding something from them and they're going to be less inclined to continue with you. Next, we have to have an offer that they can't refuse. Why? A good offer makes it easier for them to say yes, and the easier it is for your prospects to say yes, the more clients you get. Duh. The goal, build an offer so good that it keeps you awake at night. What I mean by that is something that's bringing so much value to your client that you don't even know if you can keep up with it. And then how to do this is implement things that either remove the risk for your client or add the value to your service. So some examples of things you could add to your offer are a 7-day free trial of our entire service, 20 qualified leads guaranteed each month or we get you a full refund, or our entire paid ads system plus free social media management on us. So these are all things that are either adding value to your service or removing the risk for your client. But there's one final thing that is 10 times more important than all the other stuff I've talked about in this video, and it's having high conviction in what you're selling. So if you genuinely believe that your service will help businesses, that will be displayed in your voice during the calls. So your client will be able to tell that you know what you're talking about and that you believe in what you're offering. But if you're offering something you aren't confident in, the client will also be able to tell that. So deep down, if you know that your service probably isn't that valuable to these businesses and that it probably won't get them great results, then that's going to be displayed in your voice as well. So I hope you found this short video valuable. Make sure to join the free Discord. I already mentioned everything about it. There's also a leveling system. I did forget to mention that part. So the more you chat in it, you gain XP and then you level up and unlock new things, like new resources, for example. But then yeah, just make sure to subscribe if you found this valuable. And I hope this helps you guys out with cold calling because it's already a difficult thing by itself. But then finding a good script is kind of another step to it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and found it valuable. Peace.